Hello everybody and welcome back. Andrea Twarowski here. I'll be talking to you guys today about something that's pretty exciting and actually new to me. I don't know how I've missed this for the past 11 years pretty much since I've been in business, but as you all know, as you move along and grow, you learn more and more. And I'm the type of person where you will hear me say often that I take a coaching course or a business course of some kind every single year because every course and every person who teaches that course offers me something different and gives me a different insight on certain things where I may not have noticed that before, because we all have our own coaching style and teaching style. So I do choose courses from different people every year so that I can learn different styles and different ways of doing things. And this is the most recent thing that I've actually learned that I found very interesting. And I'm the type of person as well where in my business, if I can spend the least amount of money possible, that's the way I like to go about it. And this is primarily because my businesses, as you all know, are online. So why should I have to spend $3,000 for somebody to make me a website when if I take a course, learn a little bit of this, learn a little bit of that, I can do it myself and spend maybe $100? Or why would I pay somebody to answer emails for me and make courses for me when if I just take time to do it myself and learn how to make courses myself, then I can spend a lot less doing it myself or not spend anything at all. So anytime that I learn that I can spend less money by doing something that I use every single day, then that's what I'm going to do. And this is the most recent thing that I found out. So in order to sell your products online, okay, you need to have a third-party site helping to sell them for you. So you need a storefront of some kind. And typically your website is seen as your storefront. So think of it as if you are going to the store to buy shoes or a purse or a new shirt or a new pair of pants. You go to the mall or to that store to buy those items. Well, your website is like your own store online. So if it doesn't look a certain way, if it doesn't function a certain way, people will look at it for half a second and go, okay, I don't like how this looks. I don't like how things are going to look. It's too much stuff. It's not enough stuff. So we do judge things by appearance. And we also look at things that are more common to us. Like if you're trying to sell something online, a good example is if you say to that person, okay, to buy this course, you have to send me $200 cash in the mail. And then as soon as I have your cash, then I will send you the course. You see how silly that sounds? People are not going to buy the course from you. Or if you say, I'm accepting checks only, you need to send me your check in the mail, and as soon as I have your check, then I'll send you the course or send you my product or service or whatever you happen to be offering. People aren't going to go for that. So you need to have something that people see, people trust. And if you sign up with a third-party site, those customers of yours will see, oh, well, this third-party site looks new, it looks fresh, it looks professional. They're not going to be afraid to give them their credit card info because they know that it's an actual company. Whereas if you try to set something up yourself and say, pay here, and then let's say they have to send you money in the mail or they have to send you an email money transfer, that is sending something specifically to you. And even if it's not true, they see it as, oh, okay, well, she has all of my credit card information. She has all of my banking information. I don't want that. I'm not going to send her any money because if she can't afford to sign up for a third-party site such as PayPal or Sells or a DPD, just to name a few, I'm not going to sign up with this person. So it's a good idea to sign up for a third-party site. And this is what I'm talking about today. So when I first started, I had used PayPal, and I'm just going to talk to you guys about that a little bit first. So PayPal is the same thing. You don't have to pay an actual transaction fee. So I should actually put that down. So no transaction fees, but this isn't the one that I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on another one, but I just would like to give you the history a little bit. So there's no transaction fees, but for everything you sell, PayPal takes is it 2.9% or 2.5? Let me just double check that. This will be very quick to find because they have it right on the website. So this will be very, very quick to find. It's funny, I'm just looking for the payments. So PayPal, you sign up for free. You don't have to pay anything extra. It is free. But then every time somebody buys something from you, okay, so it's 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. So let me just make a note of that. So technically, yes, they are selling you, or they are taking a transaction fee, but more commonly, this is called a processing fee because there are third-party sites that take a transaction fee and a processing fee. So you have to be careful with that. So with PayPal, actually, this is one of the cheaper ways to go about things. You will just have to simply set up all of your products in PayPal and then transfer that onto your site. And then as soon as people click on it, they can click or pay through their PayPal account. So they do have to have a PayPal account to pay. Some people love PayPal and some people hate PayPal. I'm partial. I don't love them and I don't hate them. I used to use them and I used to use them for a reason, meaning I don't like to use them anymore. And this is because it was cheaper for me to use PayPal because people could pay by credit card, by their PayPal, but pretty much pay through anyway. And PayPal would take a certain percentage from each transaction, but that's still not a lot if you think about it because you should be using a third-party site of some kind. But the thing about PayPal is their customer service, at least it was horrible because I haven't used them for a long time, but I ran into an issue where somebody had canceled a transaction that they had done with me, and I sell digital courses. So as soon as you pay, you will get your product right away. So to have somebody cancel it and tell PayPal that they didn't actually get the product is not true because it's a digital transaction. So they did have their product right away, but they had just thought afterwards they can't afford it, so they had canceled it. But they have their full product. And they had actually, some customer had actually sent me an email saying, sorry, I can't afford it, so that's why I canceled it. Well, if you couldn't afford it, you should have known that first because now I can't take that digital product away because you've already purchased it. But anyways, things happen. But I tried to explain this to PayPal, but they didn't understand and they didn't see the issue. So I actually took them, I didn't take them to court, but I did process the claim further because I thought, because it was a very expensive course, let's just put it this way, a couple $1,000s. So to have PayPal be okay with this person canceling their fee, so PayPal took the money out of my account and this customer still had their full course. So to have PayPal be okay with that and not understand, well, this is a digital product, refunds shouldn't be allowed unless I say that's okay. In the end, I did win my case and I did get all of the money back. Plus PayPal also had to pay me a good amount because of all of the trouble and time that I had to spend with this case. It took about 6 months. So after that, I thought, okay, PayPal's good, but if there's any issues, they don't really know how to handle it. And again, I shouldn't say that because I'm sure it's not like that for everybody, but in my case, it was true. And from what I've heard from other people, it's been true for them too. So I've I looked for other ways outside of PayPal. And to make a long story short, this is why I don't like to use PayPal. I will use PayPal if a patient really or if a student or a customer, I work in a dental office, so sometimes you will hear me say patient. I'm sorry about that, but yeah. So I looked for other things outside of PayPal, and this is when I found a few companies that I quite like. So I want to talk about Cells and DPD. So let's talk about Cells first. So this is cells that I use, and this is what my storefront looks like. And let me actually take you to their website with the fees as well. The fees are similar, but you do have to pay a, oh, I was hoping to take you to the site here. You do have to pay a transaction fee though. So you do have to pay a little bit more. If you don't want to pay anything upfront. So if you only have 5 items, if everybody can see this, which is not a lot. Like this would work for somebody who's planning to sell a course, maybe an ebook, but not a lot of things. So they charge the same as PayPal, but also the 2% on top of that. So let me write that down here for you guys, which is still not a lot because you should be using a different site to sell things from. So, sorry guys, let me just write that down. Transaction and 2%. So it's still not a lot, but it's still enough. And if you guys had read my blog article, where I talked about how much I have been spending on expenses for my business. It's not a lot, but where a lot of my expenses seem to come from, and it's not really expenses because I'm only being charged if somebody buys something, so they take a cut off of the top from the product. So let's say I'm selling a product for $100, they will take the 2.9% plus 30% transaction fee, and then 2% also. So it's not like I'm paying expenses, but I'm losing out on money if you think about it. And to use cells, and I had used another website as well, which I'll talk about, gumroad.com, which takes a significant portion more, but what was I saying? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here. But yeah, so I had seen that in fees, I was paying, I had paid about $1,000. And that money could have been in my pocket instead of paying a third-party site to sell my products. But I do need that third-party site because if you can see on Cells, you know, this looks a lot nicer than me simply putting products on my website and then people having to pay me either by PayPal or email money transfer. And a lot of people don't trust the email money transfers because they think you have access to their bank info, which is not true, but that's what people think. And a lot of people don't really know how to send one either. So this is why I like to use a third-party site. And the thing that I like about Cells is that I can actually click on a product. So let's just move down here. I haven't been using Cells forever, so it's been not too long, but you can actually click on a product. So my newer product here, just as an example, the Dental Assisting Full Board Exam Prep course. If I click on analytics, it actually shows me who purchased that course, who looked at it, which I don't really want to show you guys that per se because I don't want anybody to see any names. But like it shows me how much I'm making. It shows me where all of the sources are coming from. So if it's from my website, from Facebook, things like that, it shows me where everybody's coming from. So it does show me a lot. And then And another feature that I like about Sells is that if somebody had clicked on a product and had decided not to purchase it, it will send me an email letting me know. So then I can send them an email back saying, hey, I saw you were interested in the full board exam prep course for dental assisting students. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're still interested in purchasing it, here's a $10 off credit. This will expire on Sunday, so if this is something you're interested in, you should purchase it now, type of thing. So if I don't send that email, then I could be losing out on a sale. But since I had sent that, I mean, I'm not saying that people purchase after that every single time, but it's a good chance. And if I simply had a PayPal account, it doesn't show me enough of the analytics portion of it. So I don't mind paying extra for that. So let's move back to Sells again. So they do charge a little more, but I'm actually paying Sells about $26.99 a month so that I don't have to pay this 2% transaction fee, because I had noticed per course that I have, it's typically about $300 to $400. Those are the average courses that I sell. Of course, some of my courses are upwards to $1,000, and some are as low as $35. But on average, I sell the most of my $300 and $400 courses, and per course, they were taking about $12, $13, $18 off the top in some cases. So if I'm paying $30, let's say, a month, Sells will not take that 2% extra off the top. So let me show you guys that again. So with the pricing, I'll show you guys the plan that I have. So I do pay $26.99 a month, and this means that I can have as many items as I want, because as you can see from my store here, I have a ton of things. So if I could simply only have 5 things, that would not be good for me. I have a ton of things, and I seem to be adding more all the time. So with Sells, they let me have as many things as I want. I can customize my theme, my storefront, and there's just a lot of other options. And even something that I didn't realize, every time I make an item, I can actually have it have its own URL. So it's a lot easier for my customers to actually look that up. So I do like that. And it does offer a PayPal option. Just because I don't like PayPal, it doesn't mean that my customers don't like it. So it is nice to have this PayPal option so that if somebody did want to pay with PayPal, they can, but I don't have to deal with PayPal itself. Sells and PayPal deal with each other, and then the money. So any money I make, it gets deposited into my account every single week. So even if a customer paid with PayPal, PayPal tells Sells how much money I had make, and then they put it into my account. So I don't actually have to deal with them, which is nice. Plus, with Sells, if a customer happens to cancel something, which hasn't happened in years, knock on wood, Sells actually will investigate that further. So unlike PayPal, whereas they took the money out of my account right away, Sells actually helps me, so to speak. Like, they will actually contact the customer and say why, why are you canceling it, things like that. So it's nice that if that happens, they don't take the money out of my account right away, because as you can imagine, that can be a little bit annoying, because in most cases, when a customer cancels an order of some kind, they say to me, oops, I canceled it, I didn't mean to. and then I say, well, it's been canceled. Now I have to actually fight to have the money back, so it's a huge mess if you were to go through PayPal, but Sells makes it a lot easier. So this is the company that I'm actually using now. Once again, so as you can see here, it does say a 0% transaction fee if you pay $30 a month. So $26.99 tax is about 30 to 32 bucks a month. But you shouldn't choose this option if you're not making any money yet. Like, I sell a lot of courses and products that in transaction fees, as an example, for the month of January, I would have paid about a little over $100. Whereas since I had paid 30 bucks a month, that $100 is now in my pocket. So yes, I'm spending $30, but I'm saving a lot more. But if you're not selling anything yet, or you're new, then it makes sense to sign up for the free option here, so that if somebody buys something from you, yes, they take a portion off the top, but it's still not a lot, and you don't have to pay per month. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I do have products, but I don't know if I'll be able to sell products every single month, then you shouldn't be paying every single month, because then you're actually paying more. Now, I'll talk about the website that I used to use, but I had realized the fees were very, very high. So let me just show you guys that. Gumroad.com, and I don't know how I missed this, but I didn't realize that the fees were so high. It's about 5%, I think. I'm just looking at the pricing. I'm sorry, where is the pricing? And it's funny because I did find all of this earlier, but of course I lost that piece of paper. So, okay, see? So per transaction, they are charging 5% and 25 cents. So let me see this. So 5% and 25 cents. So, which may not seem like a lot, and it's not a lot more, I should say, than everything else. So let's say you were, 25 cents. Because it was 25 cents, right? Not 2.5. Yes, okay, good. So I shouldn't say it's a lot more. That's not true. But let's say you were with Sells and you are not paying the $30 a month to have the 0 transaction fees. So with Sells, you're paying about 4.9 plus 30 cents a transaction. So, well, you know what? It kind of equals out. So I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it's a lot more, because it does equal out. So they're both pretty good. And with this company, they allow payment plans, which I like. So I don't have to be emailing somebody every single month saying, hey, you signed up for this course. It's $200 a month. You owe another $200. With this company, they will actually charge that person's credit card every single month. So you don't have to be calling them, emailing them, because that can get a little bit annoying for you and for the customer. So with the payment plans, I use them for the payment plans, but that's it. Again, they are pretty close, but I still feel I like Sells more because it looks nicer. It's a little bit easier to use, but it's all pretty similar though. As soon as I saw the 5%, I thought, oh my goodness, that's a lot. But if you add the 2% plus the 2.9%, well, that's 4.9%. So that's almost 5%. So it's not that much, but it depends how much you're selling at the same time. So this one I use for the payment plan option, but that's it. Sells I use all the time. And Sells allows me and my customers to use PayPal if they want to, so that I like also. Okay, so the last one, DPD, so digital product delivery, which a lot of people seem to use, but to be honest, I tried it and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because the storefront seemed too simple and too plain. Like I didn't like how it looked. And it's not free. It's something you do have to pay for. And I do have a lot of products. So if I were to, let's say, pay for something, it would probably be at least $16 a month. But I didn't like the storefront. So as silly as that sounds, I don't mind paying more to have the storefront look nicer. But the nice thing about DPD is you don't have to pay anything else. You always have to pay, which they don't say it in here, which is interesting. You always have to pay when somebody is using their credit card. There is a 2.9 and 30 cents processing fee. So I'm sorry, I'm just checking what they say here. So you do still have to pay that all the time. So they may have 0% transaction fees, but you still have to pay the 2.9 and 30 cents a transaction because they usually have to go through PayPal. But I guess it depends on how you set this up, because when I had set it up for free, I chose PayPal as my type because that's the only option that I had. But I'm guessing if it goes directly into your bank account, you may not. Let's check this out. You may not have to pay. Now I did sign up already, but I canceled it. So let me try, let's use one of my old emails here. And let's see if this works. Let's try this out together. Because you know what? When I had tried this, I had used it through PayPal because I didn't have time to set in all of my info. But if it goes directly into my bank account, perhaps I won't have to pay any transaction fees because you don't have to pay for it to go directly into your bank account. So let me just try this. So, and my puppy was just saying hello, so that's why I did this. Since I signed up already, I don't know if it's going to let me do it again. So let's check it out. Okay, so you have to choose a payment method. So as you can all see, there's a couple to choose from, but it doesn't let you put anything, by the looks of it, directly into your bank account. No, it doesn't. So you do always have to pay a little bit. Sorry guys, I'm just kind of reviewing this myself. So yes, so anytime you are using a third-party site to take money from the patient's credit, or sorry, I said it again, from your customers, not your patients, from your customers' credit cards, they charge a 2.9% and 30 cents processing fee, and that's from the credit card. So if your client is paying directly from their bank account, then they won't be charging you that processing fee. So when this website is saying no transaction fees, that's true, but you do still have to pay per month, and they are still charging you a processing fee. So the best way to, I guess, the cheapest thing to do, so let me just say this, no transaction fees, but you pay at least $10 a month or more. So it looks like it depends on the items you have and how much space you need. Like I would probably need to pay $30 a month for all the space that I would need because I have a lot of products, but this might be something worth looking into because but you still have to pay $10 a month. So if you're new at this and not really selling anything, I mean, $10 a month isn't a lot, but you could be saving that money for something else. So if you're new, what I suggest is trying PayPal out first. So let me just make a note of this. So if you're new at this, try PayPal first, because PayPal, from what I hear, is the cheapest way to go because they only take money if you sell something, and it's the normal processing fee. So 2.9% off the top and 30 cents per transaction. But you do not have to pay per month. You do not have to pay, I guess, anything else. Whereas the other sites that I'm talking about, they do also charge a transaction fee. It looks nicer than PayPal, and they're easier to set up in a sense, but depending on the website design that you have, setting up PayPal could be easy too, because some of them have a store front in them. I know the website design company that I use, Weebly.com, they have a storefront in there. So people could click that directly and then it takes them to PayPal. And PayPal now, you can pay with your credit card also. It's just some people have PayPal and some people do not. So if you have a customer who would like to purchase something from you, but they see all you have is PayPal, they might say, oh, well, I don't have PayPal. I don't know how to use PayPal. I just would like to pay by my credit card. But if they want to pay by their credit card using PayPal, they still have to sign up for a PayPal account. So another reason why I use Sells is because they can pay by pretty much anything. They can pay by credit card, American Express even, PayPal. So it just makes things a lot easier and quicker for them. Plus with Sells, it sends them a receipt right away. With PayPal, it does send them a receipt, so to speak, but it's not as nice looking, and it sends it through the email, but not as a separate attachment. So some people might want that separate attachment. And since I've been doing this for such a long time, that if I had to send every single person a separate attachment, that would simply take up too much of my time. So again, I like Sells because it does a lot of the hard work for me, and I don't have to really do a lot. Plus, it keeps track of, who's clicking certain things on my website, who has clicked multiple products more than once, things like that. So I do like Sells, but there's no harm in looking at other things. It's just these three I found, or I should say four, I found are the least expensive and do the most. So I think it just depends on what you want it to do. But I do say though that if you're starting out, it doesn't hurt to just try PayPal first because that's the cheapest way to go. Anytime you are going through something more fancier, so to speak, you probably have to pay a transaction fee on top of that, which will be usually at least 2%. And you could have to pay a monthly fee on top of that also, which is okay if you're selling, say, more than 10 products a month. But if you're not, then that might not be worth it for you. So something to think about. I know we did talk about a lot today, but I do hope that helped. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. I'll leave my my email down here for everybody. Let's see here. My email is andreatwarowskiblog@gmail.com. So feel free to email me. I'll be posting another video next month, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys all next month for the next video.